It really feels like we're just swimming in data these days, doesn't it?
Sure.
But actually understanding it quickly, that's the challenge. You've pulled together some great sources for us, and our mission here on the deep dive is, well, to cut through all that noise, we want to pull out the really actionable stuff, give you that shortcut to getting what matters.
Exactly right. Think of us as your, I don't know, your personal data decoding team for today. And we're focusing on a really powerful tool, Tableau. We're going to explore the best ways to design dashboards that actually work, that drive understanding, and we'll look at some pretty cool real-world examples too.
Yeah, and it's quite a mix of materials you've got. An article on design best practices, which look essential, then a whole bunch of case studies from different fields, a YouTube transcript on calculated fields, getting practical there, and even Tableau's own help docs. Solid foundation. Okay, let's really dig in.
Right. So, first things first, making dashboards that actually help people. That article, 11 must-follow practices for stunning Tableau dashboard design, it lays out some core ideas. What jumped out at you first from that piece?
For me, it was definitely the immediate focus on the audience. Who is this for? What questions do they need answered? It's not just about making things look nice, it's about purpose. And I loved that 5-second rule idea.
Ah,
The
yeah.
concept that someone should get the main point in just 5 seconds, that really says a lot about clear design, doesn't it?
It really does. That 5-second rule, it's more than just like a quick check.
Yeah.
It forces you to think about intuitive layout. If the main insights aren't obvious right away, well, the dashboard's failed, pretty much, no matter how much data is behind it. And building on that clarity idea, the article also brings up, where people will actually see these dashboards.
Oh, yeah, crucial point. Looking at something on a giant boardroom screen versus, like, your tablet on the train, totally different experience.
Completely. A dashboard that looks great blown up big can become just a mess of tiny charts on a smaller device, which is where Tableau's dashboard device layouts come in handy, right? You can actually tailor it.
Exactly. It lets you make sure the insights are clear and easy to grasp, no matter the screen size. It's about accessibility.
Accessibility and also speed. The article mentions loading times, which I think people sometimes forget about.
Oh, definitely. We all know how annoying a slow website is, right? Same thing applies here. If your dashboard takes ages to load.
People just won't use it. Simple as that. User adoption tanks.
Right. And the article points out, and Tableau's own help docs back this up, that optimization often starts before you even build the charts. Things like knowing your data structure, using Tableau extracts properly, it all contributes to performance.
That's such a key point. Performance isn't just a nice to have, it's fundamental to good design. Now, the article also talked about using the sweet spot on the dashboard. What's the thinking there?
It's about visual hierarchy, basically, like laying out a newspaper page. You put the most vital info where people naturally look first. So for a sales dashboard, maybe that's total revenue, the main KPIs, maybe the top-selling products, right up top, easy to see.
Makes sense. Draw the eye immediately to the headline numbers. Don't make people hunt for the main message. It guides the user through the data story you're telling.
And speaking of visuals, color, the article had some specific advice there.
Yeah, the main theme was definitely less is more. Don't go crazy with colors.
Yeah.
Limit the palette. Use color strategically, maybe to highlight one key dimension or call attention to outliers. And really importantly, make sure different data sets use distinct colors. Oh, and consider color blindness.
Yes, that's critical for accessibility.
Absolutely. They mentioned the common red-green issue and suggested thinking about like grayscale or maybe blue-orange combinations. Make it work for everyone.
Such a vital consideration. Okay, so we have the basic visual structure, color, now making it interactive. The article stresses this too. Oh, this is where it gets really powerful for the user, I think. Things like filters, letting you slice the data how you want. Or drill down features where you can click on something and see the next level of detail. And tooltips.
Right. These turn it from just looking at a picture into actually exploring the data. It empowers users to ask their own questions.
Exactly. And find their own answers.
And Tableau offers different ways to enable that interaction, right? Select, hover, and menu navigation. Can you unpack those a bit?
Sure. So select might be like you click on California on a map, and all the other charts update to show just California's sales data. Simple click action. Hover could be you move your mouse over a bar in a monthly sales chart, and a little box pops up showing the exact figure, maybe the percentage change from last month. No clicking needed.
Instant info.
And menu navigation. Maybe you click on a category like customer complaints, and a little menu appears letting you filter by, say, high priority or product type. It's a bit more structured.
So different tools for different kinds of exploration. And you mentioned tooltips earlier. The article called them context without clutter. How do they help?
They're like those little info bubbles that pop up when you hover. They can give you extra details, like the precise value, maybe explain how something was calculated, or give context. But crucially, they do it without jamming up the main view with tons of text. Extra info right when you need it keeps the dashboard clean.
Nice analogy. Keeps things tidy. The article also mentioned a formatting approach. Largest to smallest. What's the benefit there?
It's all about efficiency and consistency. You start with the big picture stuff, the overall theme for the dashboard. Then you format things at the workbook level, like standard fonts. Then you go down to the individual worksheet level. And finally, you tweak tiny parts of a specific chart if needed. It ensures everything looks coherent and professional and saves time in the long run.
Yeah, build that consistent foundation first. Makes sense. And a theme running through all this design advice seems to be simplicity.
Absolutely. Minimalism. Get rid of anything that isn't essential for understanding the data.
Yeah.
Extra grid lines, decorative bits, redundant labels, just cut them out. It makes the important stuff stand out more clearly, focuses the user's attention.
Right. Less clutter, more clarity. And the final piece of design advice, which sounds absolutely critical, testing.
Yeah, test it with the actual people who are going to use it. Because you can think it's brilliant, but if it doesn't work for them...
It's not effective.
Exactly. You need that feedback. Is it easy to use? Is it clear? Does it actually help them answer their questions, do their jobs? It validates everything else. So, okay, those are the principles. Really useful stuff. But how does this look out in the wild? Let's talk about those case studies.
Right, because seeing it in action really brings it home. That 12 Tableau case studies article gives a great snapshot across different sectors. Which one caught your eye?
Well, the Bentley Motors one was interesting, ultra luxury cars. You might not immediately think data dashboards, but they seem to be doing some powerful things.
They really are. It's a great example of self-service analytics breaking down silos. Their manufacturing teams use drillable dashboards to spot and fix production issues faster. And on the customer side, they're pulling together data from everywhere to get a single view, allowing for much more personalized experiences. It's about empowering people across the business.
That idea of unified data and real-time insight pops up again with Trajectory, the sports data company. They built a custom portal with Tableau.
Yeah, visualizing sponsorship value for sports teams, like accurately and in real time. That lets the teams give much better reports back to their sponsors. Stronger partnerships, better decisions. It shows Tableau's value in fast-moving industries.
And then you got the other end of the scale, Verizon. Huge company, massive data volumes. How's Tableau making a difference there?
It's pretty staggering. They have something like 1,500 dashboards analyzing billions of rows of data. And the result? Big improvements in customer experience. Fewer calls to the contact center, fewer technician visits needed. It shows Tableau can handle serious enterprise scale and deliver real operational savings.
Wow, 1,500 dashboards. That's a lot. It certainly proves the tool's robustness. Then there's Mercado Libre in Latin America. What was their story?
Their focus was really interesting, fostering a data-driven culture across a huge workforce. They made Tableau widely available, provided training, and saw a 5-fold increase in people actually using it. It shows how user-friendly tools can empower lots of people to use data day to day.
That's a great point. Democratizing data use. And even a tech company like Splunk saw value in moving to Tableau Cloud.
Yeah, for them it was about efficiency and performance, aligning with their own cloud-first SaaS model. They moved to Tableau Cloud, a managed platform, and saw benefits. Shows that even data experts see value in Tableau's infrastructure.
Okay, switching gears completely. Healthcare, NYU Langone Health. What impact is Tableau having there?
It's pretty profound. They've used Tableau to build a data culture that improves patient care quality, makes operations more efficient, and even helps secure research funding. Better analysis leads to better rankings, more grants. It's data directly impacting health outcomes. Really powerful stuff.
That's incredible. And Carter's, the children's clothing company, they set up a Tableau Center of Excellence. Why was that important for them?
They were dealing with huge amounts of retail data, plus complex supply chains.
Right.
The Center of Excellence, or COE, was about boosting data literacy across the board, helping teams understand trends better, manage inventory, react quicker to supply chain hiccups, using data for retail excellence, basically.
Data literacy seems to be a recurring theme. The UN World Food Program also leveraged a Tableau COE.
Yes, and their goal is obviously massive: global food security. Their COE helps teams use data visualization to make better decisions in their work, supporting millions of people. It shows data's role in huge humanitarian efforts.
Amazing reach. And finally, something maybe a bit more relatable for some listeners, the Texas Rangers baseball team. How are they using Tableau?
They're using real-time data hooked up with Salesforce to improve the whole fan experience. Things like optimizing parking, concession stand flows, answering fan questions faster, even personalizing interactions, using data to make game day better.
It really shows the breadth, doesn't it? From luxury cars and global food aid to baseball games. Tableau seems incredibly versatile.
Okay, so we've seen the design principles and the real-world impact. Now, let's get a bit more technical and talk about extending Tableau's power with calculated fields. That YouTube transcript and the help docs seem key here.
Absolutely. Calculated fields are, well, they're incredibly useful. They let you create new data from the data you already have, but crucially, without changing the original source file.
Right, so you're not messing with the underlying spreadsheet or database.
Exactly. It's all done within Tableau. You can add calculations, create new metrics, segment data. It adds a whole layer of analytical flexibility.
And the tutorial gave a simple example, like if you have sales and profit, you can just create a profit ratio field right there. It showed how to open the calculation editor. You can right-click or use the menu, name your field, type in the formula. Pretty straightforward. Yeah, the interface is quite intuitive. And the tutorial mentioned three main types of calculations: basic, LOD expressions, and table calculations. Give us the quick difference.
Sure. So basic calculations work either row by row on your source data, or they work on aggregated data in your view. Pretty standard stuff. LOD level of detail expressions are more advanced. They let you calculate things at a specific level, like, say, average sales per customer, regardless of what dimensions you currently have in your chart. More control over granularity. And table calculations work only on the data that's visible in your visualization table. Think things like running totals, percent of total, moving averages.
Got it. Different tools for different levels of calculation. The YouTube transcript had some good practical uses for those basic calculations, didn't it?
Yeah, it covered quite a few common scenarios, like a manager needing to see sales broken down by region. You'd use a calculation to segment that. Or maybe testing out a new metric like a specific efficiency ratio before you ask IT to add it permanently to the database. Also, things like aggregating data in new ways, filtering out stuff you don't need based on a calculation, or, like we said, calculating ratios.
And they showed a row-level example too, right? Using this FPLIT function.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was neat. Taking a complex customer ID field that maybe has multiple parts joined together and using SBLIT to pull out just the unique ID number you need. Very handy for data cleaning.
Definitely a common task. And an aggregate example.
They showed calculating average profit per category, simple aggregation, but easily done with a calculated field, and also a logical calculation creating a new field called, say, profitable, which is just yes if profit's zero and no otherwise. Great for quick segmentation.
Yeah, using functions like afefen or asen. Tableau's help docs also cover creating these, pointing to the analysis menu, and they give that IFEF function example for calculating a discount ratio, showing that logical capability again.
It really feels like a built-in toolkit for manipulating and enriching your data on the fly, doesn't it? Super powerful. But of course, before you can do any of this visualizations, calculations, you need to actually get your data into Tableau in the first place. And the help docs cover that connection step too.
That's step 0, isn't it? Connecting to data. And Tableau is built to connect to a huge range of things. Local files like Excel, CSVs, text files, databases on servers like SQL Server, Oracle, cloud platforms like Google BigQuery, Snowflake.web, data connectors. The list is long.
And that connect pane on the start screen makes it pretty easy, right? It shows common file types, servers you might use, recent connections. And if you're using Tableau Server or Cloud Online, there's a similar connect to data page.
Right. And the great thing is, for many common sources, Tableau has native connectors. That usually means a smoother connection process and often better performance. And for anyone just starting out or wanting to play around, there's always that sample Superstore dataset included.
Yeah, that's super helpful for learning. The docs walk you through connecting to that specifically. And once you connect, Tableau does its thing, opens a new worksheet, shows your data source fields in the data pane, and usually makes a good guess at the data type for each field number, text, date, etc.
And there's that data source page too, where you can preview the data, maybe do some basic cleanup like renaming fields or splitting columns, again, without touching the original file. It's a safe space to prepare your data.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, it feels like we've covered a lot of ground. From the absolute importance of designing for your audience and keeping things clear and interactive,
To seeing how companies across so many different industries are getting real value from Tableau.
then diving into how calculated fields let you go beyond the raw data and create new insights.
And finally, just remembering that first crucial step of actually connecting Tableau to your data sources.
Putting all these pieces together, the design thinking, the features like calculations, learning from the case studies, that really equips you to use Tableau not just to make charts, but to get those quick, thorough insights we talked about at the start.
Exactly. It's about moving from just data visualization to actual data understanding and communication.
So here's a final thought for you, our listener, to chew on. Thinking about everything we've discussed, the design ideas like the 5-second rule or using color wisely, the different ways companies like Bentley or Verizon or the UN are using Tableau, which specific part clicks most with your data challenges? What resonates with the kind of analysis you need to do? Maybe check out the sources we mentioned again, or even grab Tableau Public and try connecting to some data. You can often find interesting data sets and problems to solve just by browsing online communities. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.